Hey guys, Kevin with All in the Reflexes Boxing. Let's talk Tyson Fury rematch versus Wladimir Klitschko. Now, I know a lot of people have made a lot of the first fight, saying Tyson Fury is a genius, saying Tyson Fury, he fought the perfect fight, yada, yada, yada. Klitschko was exposed and all this kind of stuff. So I guess before I talk about the rematch, I'll very quickly talk to you about my thoughts on the first Klitschko-Fury fight. So first of all, of course, all props to Fury for doing whatever he needed to do to beat Wladimir Klitschko. It's no small feat to beat Wladimir Klitschko. I mean, so many people, have failed to do it. So, but let's be clear about, yes, it was a victory for Tyson Fury, but it wasn't some kind of masterpiece. I think some people are saying, okay, maybe a strategic masterpiece in terms of, how to sort of psych out the champion. Okay, great. But we all know there hardly was a meaningful punch thrown in the fight by either side. Basically, Tyson Fury won, in my opinion, because one of Tyson Fury's big strengths that honestly, like most boxers don't have, is he gets in people's heads before the fight. And it was similar to Mike Tyson. It's a psychological thing. And, it's hard to tell because a lot of people try to do that with Wladimir, like lots of people have. David Haye tried to pretty much everyone tries to get in the champion's head. But Tyson Fury, I don't know if it's because he's physically bigger than Klitschko, but he was able to do it. And he was crazier. He did the whole Batman costume dress-up thing. But he got in Wladimir Klitschko's head before the fight, and it was to the point where, and Wladimir Klitschko says stuff like, I couldn't find my range, and he was really good at keeping distance and all that. We all know if Wladimir Klitschko wanted to close distance on Tyson Fury, he would be able to do it. But I think he was scared. I think Klitschko was scared. I think he just was so mentally intimidated by Tyson Fury. And I think Tyson Fury is just such an off-the-wall character. And I think Wladimir is a very kind of in-the-box, kind of very rigid and personality. But also I think it's a little bit of a cultural thing, I mean, when's the last time you saw a Ukrainian be as crazy as Tyson Fury? You know what I mean? Like as a European or an American. I think there was just some matchups in terms of culture, in terms of personality, in terms of age, maturity, and all that stuff that just really, I think, positioned this fight psychologically. And Tyson Fury was bigger than Klitschko. I think Klitschko's always been able to kind of in his mind not let people get to him because he's like, look, you shrimp, I'm bigger than you. And he couldn't do that with Tyson Fury, So, and Klitschko's fought people bigger than him before and won. But again, Tyson Fury, just his mental game in terms of getting in people's heads is so good that I really think he beat Klitschko before he even got in the ring. And I think that was evident because pretty much the first fight, their first fight where Tyson Fury won, pretty much just danced around and clowned around. And, he landed a jab here and there and whatever. But, and look, I think Fury won the fight. I'm not saying he didn't win the fight, but he kind of won by, default because Klitschko didn't throw a punch. And sure, I'll give Tyson Fury credit. He didn't, he did, his range was good. But, again, we all know Klitschko could have closed that range if he wanted to. I just think he was just so hesitant and whatever. So that's my thought on the first fight. In a way, I'm glad it happened because it shakes up the heavyweight division. The problem though is I think it's giving too much credit to Tyson Fury. It's like, I'm glad he did what he did. Great. I would, if I'm advising Tyson Fury, I'm not going to tell him to do anything different. But let's, as boxing fans, as people who just love the sport and want to view it, let's not be taken in by the win. Let's actually look at what's happening for this rematch and really analyze. And look, I think that there's a very good chance Tyson Fury wins the rematch. I think the odds are probably in his favor. However, it's very different going into it from Klitschko's point of view. It's very different going into a rematch than defending your title against someone for the first time. And so Klitschko now knows what he's dealing with. You know he's going to watch the tape 100 times, and you know he's going to do whatever it takes to get people around him that are going to help him get over that hurdle. The mental intimidation game that Fury played on Klitschko the first time is not going to work the second time to the same degree. It's just the law of diminishing returns. It's not going to happen. Like, I really feel like Klitschko probably watched the tape back and was like, wow, I was fighting scared. I thought he was going to land it. And he's going to realize that Fury was never going to land a big shot on Klitschko. I mean, and this is the thing about Fury's game that's really interesting. He's a super big guy, but he's not a super big puncher, which is odd. You know, I'm not saying he can't knock people out. Of course he can, but he's not one of those guys. He's not David Haye, who can put you to sleep either hand with one hit if it lands flush. Tyson Fury's not that guy. Again, not saying he couldn't put someone to sleep, but it's not that sudden power. You know what I mean? And I feel like Klitschko's going to watch the tape and realize, what was I scared of? And I think we're going to see a different kind of Klitschko who really doesn't have anything to lose. Klitschko doesn't have anything to really lose this time. I mean, I guess you could say, like, you know, it'll damage his legacy if he loses again. Not really. I mean, he's already lost the belts, you know, he's already lost the fights. Like, I really think that we're going to see, I mean, not that this would be hard, but I think we're going to see a better version of Klitschko by far. Not only will we see a better version of Klitschko, the psychological game of Fury is really going to be taken away. He's not going to be doing this Batman stuff again. And if he does, I think Klitschko's been there, done that, was scared of it, paid for my fear, and now I see through it. I really think Klitschko's a smart guy. Like, just intellectually, he's a smart guy. He's not a big dumb athlete, and I think that it's a different fight this time around. You know, now does that mean I think Fury's going to win the rematch, or if Fury's going to lose the rematch? No, I think Fury. He's still tricky. He's still, you know, he can switch from orthodox to southpaw. He sticks his tongue out. He kind of does it. You know, the Deontay Wilder kind of does some of that stuff where they kind of joke around. Klitschko doesn't like that stuff. It throws off his cadence. It throws off. It's just not orthodox enough. So I think Fury has the awkwardness. He has the size, you know, and the confidence to win the rematch. However, there's been some things that have happened recently in the media in the last week or two that really I think we need to look at just as boxing fans, about Tyson Fury. I don't think Tyson Fury is mentally stable. And you may be saying, oh Kevin, no duh, Tyson Fury's not mentally stable, but let's not look past that. That's huge. And, you know, he's admitted before that he struggled with depression and being suicidal, taking antidepressants. And look, people make a lot of people who take antidepressants. They think, oh my gosh, they're so unstable, they might break down at any moment. You would be absolutely blown away if you knew how many people in your life take antidepressants and you don't know about it. And the part of that is doctors are recommending them like freaking candy. It's crazy how quickly they're thrown out there as a cure-all. So don't necessarily write somebody off because, you know, they took antidepressants, they said they were depressed. You got to watch kind of their actions and their attitude and kind of what they say and see if it lines up with that. And I think Tyson Fury, he's thrown out enough stuff now where I think we can be concerned. And you know, he's talked about, like, so this last week, one of the main things he said was, and you know, this could be to throw Klitschko off. You never know. I mean, there could be some games going on here, but he said, Tyson Fury said, you know, he's having trouble finding the motivation for this fight. And he talked about if he would have lost this fight, he may have walked away from the sport, and you know, and really he's just talking about how he just doesn't have a lot of motivation for the fight. And when you think about that hunger, I mean, we see it everywhere in sports. You know, I mean, think of like For you people in America, so I'm from Seattle, right? So Seattle Seahawks, they went to the Super Bowl twice in a row. They won the first time. They should have won the second time, but Seattle Seahawks, they went to the Super Bowl, and I can tell you the hunger level to get back to the Super Bowl is decreased significantly when you've already made it to the top. Once you're at the mountaintop, that's what you were striving for. That was the whole goal. And once you're there, it's hard to find the same drive to do what? To just do what you already did. It's just, again, it's the law of diminishing returns. You don't get as much out of it, and it's harder to find that motivation. And I think when you think about Tyson Fury's sort of mental, whether it be like just depression, his suicidal stuff, just kind of his mental state, and just you look at his actions, the way he is, and I know a lot of that's for media stuff, but you can kind of tell he's just, you'll watch one interview with Tyson Fury and he's like really calm and collected and like really smart. And then you'll watch another interview where you're just like, man, this guy must be on something. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe he actually is addicted to some substance. Who knows? I don't know. But the truth is, I think Tyson Fury has proven to be a bit unstable. He'll praise God like on his shorts and everywhere else, and then like the next line he'll talk in ways toward groups of people that God would not condone. You know what I mean? Like he's just not all there. And when he talks about in the media this last week about, he's having trouble finding the motivation. He actually said, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna do this Klitschko rematch. It's just, wow, it's just odd. He's just odd, and I just feel like when you look at the fact that repeat champions, whether it's like they would call like you're repeating in football or in boxing, title defenses, you're just not going to have the same kind of hunger. You're just not, unless there's a personal vendetta storyline, which was really not between him and Klitschko. It's going to be hard to find the same motivation. So you take his mental state, you take Tyson Fury's mental state into consideration, the fact that he's losing motivation, the fact that Klitschko now knows what he needs to do, the fact that the psychological factors against against Klitschko from Tyson Fury in terms of intimidation are really not going to be present. At the very least, they're not going to be present to the same degree. You just kind of take all those things into consideration, and the fact that, like Mike Tyson, people get to the top, they can only stay there for so long, and like Mike Tyson kind of just had a life crisis breakdown, and really that's the reason he lost to Douglas. I mean, Douglas, I know, fought a good fight and whatever, but Tyson, you watch how Mike Tyson, follow his life. He was falling apart behind the scenes, and you just kind of wonder, now that Fury's at the top, with his mental sort of history, the way he gives interviews, the way he is, his own statements about losing motivation, not even really sure if he wants to keep fighting, you just kind of wonder, is this guy... Yet you can't be in that mindset if you're going to face Wladimir Klitschko. I don't care if you've already beat him. It's not like you beat him down. You beat him because he didn't throw a punch, and you just were smart enough to stay on the outside and kind of nick him here and there. So it's not like any of us believe Tyson Fury's going to go in there and like knock out Wladimir Klitschko or something. He's really just going to go in there and probably try to do the same thing. And I don't know. I just don't get a good feeling about Tyson Fury right now. I don't think he's probably a safe person to bet your money on just because of his instability. And by the way, I don't necessarily think because he's taken antidepressants, you can't put money on him. I think that can be an overrated thing. People look at that and think it's really more about, does their lifestyle and your observance of their lifestyle really, does all of it align to where you get a whole picture of somebody that's not stable? And I just feel like Tyson Fury is just not a very stable person. I understand that I am, of course, viewing that through whatever the media feeds me about him. And I get that. I understand that athletes try to create an image to sell tickets. It's more exciting when somebody's kind of half crazy. So I understand that too. So take everything I'm saying with kind of a grain of salt. But I just think everybody needs to look a little closer at this rematch and stop writing Klitschko off. It's like, are you kidding me? Do you think Klitschko's going to take this lightly? Who do you think is more likely to take this rematch lightly? You think Klitschko's going to take it more lightly? No, Fury's going to take it more lightly because he's already got the crown. He beat Klitschko without getting hit, basically. he probably feels like this is going to be another walk in the park. And look, if Klitschko walks in intimidated and all that, it will be. But I just feel like Klitschko's going to go for it. And I feel like there's a very good chance Tyson Fury gets knocked out in this fight. Let's not forget the tremendous power that Klitschko has. It's tremendous. And look, I understand, he's robotic and da-da-da-da, and I know Klitschko's got his shortcomings, but let's just talk about a little bit how, do you think Tyson Fury is really, at this point, thinking about this fight correctly? Is he really, he doesn't seem, if there's anybody that's going to get too cocky off their own success and let themselves fall when they really shouldn't fall, I think it would be Tyson Fury. And I just feel like people need to stop writing Klitschko off. I'm not saying that Tyson Fury can't beat him again. I'm just saying that I don't know if we're going to see the same focused, hungry Tyson Fury, mentally collected Tyson Fury, and that's all. I think there was a couple other things in the media that Tyson Fury kind of did or said that honestly I'm blanking on it right now. I can't remember. But you tell me, is there other things that you've heard Fury say or seen in videos where you think it may position him to lose this fight? Or are there things you see from Tyson Fury that you think will allow him to win this fight? And look, I know a lot of you think he's going to win this rematch. And look, I think that's a fair opinion. I think there's a good chance he's going to win the rematch. But how do you square the idea that he even says he's really not motivated to the point where he's not even sure if he's going to do it? Maybe you say he'll get motivated when the time comes. Okay. But again, you answer this. Who's more hungry? Who has more to lose? I mean, well, Fury probably has more to lose, but I mean, who wants it more, do you think? I think Klitschko does. And I think Klitschko's a student of the game. I think he's going to watch the tape. I think he's going to know what happened, and I think he's going to bring his A game. And look, if Tyson Fury brings his A game, like, game on, we've got a fight on our hands. But if Tyson Fury walks in thinking, oh, this was easy before, I'll do it again, I just think you're wrong. I think he's wrong. I think it's going to go very badly for Tyson Fury. So that's all there is to it. It would be, you could almost see a poetic or a sort of storybook ending. Klitschko comes back, knocks out Tyson Fury, then retires. That would be kind of cool. And then the belt's just for open, and then Tyson Fury can fight for it again against who other ABC belt, Charles Martin, whatever. Can't believe he's a heavyweight champion. Anyways, give me your thoughts below. What do you think? Am I wrong about Tyson Fury? Is this all an act? Am I believing a little too much in the crazy narrative of Tyson Fury? Am I overestimating Klitschko in his ring return since his loss? Let me know. Comment. Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. I'm a relatively new channel, so I'd love it if you guys would subscribe. I appreciate it. And let me know what you think. Bye.